in this project, I got to work with Hrithik Roshan, Anil Kapoor sir, Sidhartha sir. There was so much to learn from them. Like Anil sir was so sweet. At the premiere, he literally sat me down for 10-15 minutes and gave me word of advices and explained stuff to me. And the red eye was his idea. Eventually, the hairstyle and all was his call. Even the costumes and all were Go Goa Gone. These sort of films I would love to do. And mostly the auditions that I used to get were either for terrorists or for drug dealers or for rappers or something in the negative shade. Shakal, Gabbar, Mogambo. If you look at these negative characters, they're so larger than life characters. Like, you know, that Shakal had like a button where if you would mess with him, he'll throw you to the sharks.
Hello and welcome to India Today. This is Hesha Chima and I'm in conversation with the man who's actually created a lot of buzz by being the villain of Fighter. No cookie points for guessing. I'm in conversation with Rishabh Sawhney.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Cannot not ask you at this very moment, what's kind of going on in your head?
Man, a lot of things are going on in my head right now, you know. I'm getting so many like messages from people showering their love, like from different countries. I even got a lot of messages of people appreciating my performance from Pakistan as well. So it's very overwhelming. And you know, like this is the first time in my life where I had set out to achieve a big goal. And I feel that with this film, I've sort of achieved a goal, or at least I've put my first step in towards achieving my bigger goal. So it's a very overwhelming feeling, overpowering, very, I'm just filled with gratitude and yeah, I'm pretty happy right now.
Nice. So this is your first theatrical release with Fighter, right? Am I correct?
Correct. I've done a web series before this, but it's my first film.
And imagine being a theatrical release, that too with two mega superstars there. You've got Hrithik Roshan, you've got Deepika Padukone. I have to start off by asking you from the process of how you and Sidhartha Anand sort of got together, collaborated and narrowed down on you being a part of the film.
Okay, so it was kind of a long, hectic process. I auditioned for this film. The first time I auditioned was with Mukesh Chhabra in April 2022. And at that time, they didn't tell me that, you know, this is for Fighter. I was just told that it's a film and it's for the negative lead in the film. And I auditioned, and at that time, I was auditioning continuously. And like with other auditions, I just auditioned and I forgot about it. I'm like, if it has to happen, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And then I was, at the same time, I was working as a casting assistant somewhere else. And in June, I quit my job. And a week after quitting the job, I got a call that they are calling me back for the second round of auditions, where we had to do like 5-6 variations of the same scene. And I think 10 days later, somewhere around 7th or 8th of July, I got a call back saying that Sidhartha Anand has liked your audition and Sidhartha sir wants to meet you. So then I went to meet Sidhartha sir and he spoke to me. Initially, I was very nervous because, you know, I've like seen all the films that he's made and he's like Sidhartha Anand, right?
Yeah.
But I had thought to myself, you know, when I go see him, I'm not going to lie about anything or like I'm not going to fake anything. I'm just going to be my authentic self. And we clicked at that time. He asked me about my life and how I started acting and what idea I had of Azhar. And yeah, then he told me that he's going out for a couple of weeks and he would like to see me again after he comes back. But I needed to gain some size till then because he needed the villain to look huge. So we met around 10 days later and Sidhartha sir was like, this is perfect, you're good to go. And then we started the workshops for the film.
Listen, you just mentioned about going through a transformation to sort of play the part, right? How tasking does it get for an actor to sort of get into the grilling process and come on, this is your first film, you've just been like thrown there and be like, kaam karo, chalo.
It is very taxing, to be honest, because building a physique for that sort of a role, because my exact brief that sir gave me was to samajh that you are Thanos and you have the Avengers in front of you, because there was a team of 6-7 people, right? And I was like, okay sir, this is one thing that is in my control. I will deliver 100% in terms of my physique, because I've had a bodybuilding past, like I've competed as a bodybuilder before. Yeah, so I was actually happy that, you know, he's letting me gain size for this film, because being a model, I was not able to do that, right? And when I met him 10 days later, he was pretty happy. He's like, good enough. I had gained about 5-6 kgs in that time. And yeah, then we started with the workshops. But it could get very difficult for an actor because while I was trying to gain weight, for about 7-8 months, I was on a strict diet where I'm calculating how much the amount of food that I'm eating, eating like 7-8 meals a day, working out for 3 hours a day, and on top of that I had to, you know, maintain the mentality of the character as well to get into the skin of the character. So it was pretty tedious.
Listen, tell me the significance of that one red eye in the film, yeah. Like, you looked scary though.
Oh, that red eye was a game changer because although it's not shown in the film, but the backstory was that since Azhar has been involved in a lot of wars before this and he's now this mercenary, this big time mercenary. So probably there was a bomb blast in one of the previous fights where if you would have noticed clearly there were like pellet marks on my face as well, right?
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be from like a bombshell that exploded near my face. And I got those pellet marks and the cornea of my eye got destroyed.
Oh, and hence the whole
Hence
red
the
eye.
red eye.
But even if I don't have context to it, just looking at the red eye only was so scary in the film. I think it just added to a little bit of the nuance of the character that you were playing, right?
Definitely.
And that whole long hair and everything, man,
All
crazy.
that, the credit totally goes to Sidhartha sir for that. Because I remember we did around 5 or 6 look tests. Because my natural hair is curly. So we did like a look test with curly hair and beard, curly hair and clean shave, straight hair and beard. And yeah, I mean, eventually I showed him a picture of mine which I did for a magazine, like an editorial from my modeling days, and he was pretty convinced with that look. That was also straight hair, clean shave, and he thought this is like really evil. So we went ahead with that.
So listen, you spoke to me about quitting your job. You also spoke to me about modeling, and I'm sure you've done some theatre before that as well, right? And then an OTT show, and now a theatrical release. I want to understand this whole graph of like where this keeda bite you कि अब मुझे actor बनना है.
So so when I finished engineering, right? I finished that in 2014.
बड़ा पढ़े लिखे actor हो आप.
नहीं मैं civil engineer हूँ, सबसे easy है.
No, but still पढ़े लिखे हो.
So what happened was I finished engineering and I come from like my family business is construction. So my plan was pretty straight. Finish engineering, start work in the business, get married, have kids, have that whole Delhi businessman lifestyle, right? But I was working with my dad and after about 2 years, I was like, if I do this for the next 20 years, I'm going to shoot myself. And there was a thing attached to it, right? If my dad started the business and he got it from here to here, I did not see the potential in me to take it from here to here. And otherwise, it wouldn't have stayed. It would have just gone down. So after that, I planned like I'll just do my MBA. I'll take up a job in an MNC and I'll go abroad to study for my masters. And I took up a job at American Express and I worked there for about a year. And during this time, I had this friend in Bombay who used to come to Delhi pretty often. And he's an actor. And every time he would come to Delhi, he'd be like, bro, you should come to Bombay. You're very smart. You'll easily get, at least TV though you'll get easily. And somewhere that thing stuck with me. And in 2017, for some personal reasons, I did not want to stay in Delhi anymore. And I told my parents that I would like to try acting. Like, okay, go for 1 year, see if something happens. Then I came here. And first year though, it took me to figure out how the audition system works. Like, I was going to Aram Nagar every day, knocking on doors, asking people if my look fits in this character or this ad.
Yeah.
And barely worked anything in the first year. But the good thing I did was, as soon as I came to Bombay, I started doing theatre. I worked with this theatre group called Rangbaz. I've performed at Prithvi, NCPA. I've done a lot of shows. Like, maximum audience I did a show for was 1,500 people.
Oh wow, lovely.
Yeah, and I used to do a kids play called Jungle Book. So that was really amazing.
And
Very
look
nice.
how you've like come and become a villain now. Kids are scary.
It is. Trust me, kids were scared.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, then while doing theatre, I got cast for The Empire, and then I started working as a casting assistant with the same casting director. And while I was working, I was auditioning, and then Fighter happened.
So I think it was all supposed to happen. It was just planned.
Yeah,
You just had to make the right steps at the right time.
Absolutely, because I never thought that I would come here and start modeling, because I always thought models need to be 6 feet tall and they have certain side of a lean physique. Even when I came here, I had that bulky bodybuilder physique. But then someone spotted me and offered me modeling jobs, and that's how that started. I was like, good money, man.
Yeah.
Because for one shoot, what I was getting here, I was not getting that much in my month's salary at Amex.
I know.
So,
we feel you.
So that was pretty amazing, and that just helped me continue.
So were there like moments in your life where, as you said, you auditioned for parts and things did not work out? Like, how well did you tackle those rejections at that point?
Initially, I used to get really frustrated. I used to, give an audition, then after 2 days start irritating the casting people. Ki, what is the update? till eventually after year and a half, I realized that, I mean, it's me texting them won't matter. If I have gotten a part, they will text me, right?
Yeah.
And then when I started working as a casting assistant, that's when the whole mentality changed. It became this sort of, I came under this sort of mentality that, okay, whatever has to happen will happen. And I just have to keep auditioning and working on my acting skills. And to be honest, I was doing a lot of modeling work, so the money bit was also sorted.
Taken care of, yeah.
So I got a little, I eased out a little, and then my mindset was this only, that, you know, I'll just give the audition and forget about it. If they like it, they'll call me back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that became easy with time. Initially, it was very irritating.
Now, you know, I get it that you've done acting before, right? So that's something which is probably a flair that you already have. But when you're performing in front of an actor of that stature like Hrithik Roshan, was there a point where you actually sort of felt a bit intimidated, nervous, or like more challenged to be like, nahi, 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 ye to ek take mein sab kuch karna hai?
To be honest, no. I remember this. I don't think I will ever forget this. The first time I saw Hrithik Roshan walk on set, I've been a huge fan of his since I don't know how many years, since Kauna Pyar Hai. The first time he walked on set, I was looking at him and I was thinking, oh damn, that's Hrithik Roshan walking right here. And the next second I was like, bro, control yourself. This is your film as well. You're playing a very intense character. You can't let, you know, yourself get out of the zone of the character.
Yeah.
So as much as I wanted to tell him everything that was there in my heart, I kind of held back. I just greeted him nicely. And almost all throughout the shoot, I was mostly in myself, you know, within myself, because the character demanded that. I had to be hateful. And I can't go compliment my nemesis in the film. So I had the mindset that that's not Hrithik Roshan, that's Shamsher Pathania and I'm Azhar Akhtar, and we have to, you know, fight. So I controlled myself till the premiere when I met him.
Did you pick up like a one or two things from him that you probably imbibed in your whole process of learning going forward?
For sure, a lot. I mean, the things that I noticed, it's not easy to pick them up because he's been in the industry for 20 plus years and he's learned all of that. I mean, he knows everything about.
What are the kind of things that you noticed from your perspective?
So he knows where the camera will look nice, what sort of lighting would look nice. He knows in what way to deliver the dialogues, in what way to do the action. In fact, he also guided me about certain things on shoot. He was like, if you do this much, like if you do this like this, it would be better. Think about it. And like he was, like, honestly, Sidhartha sir and Hrithik sir, they made the whole shooting atmosphere so comfortable for me. It didn't feel like I'm shooting with, you know, such huge stars, or even that it's my first project.
Yeah.
So, like, kudos to him for that, always.
You know, so my friends and I were talking about the film, and all of us loved the film, and we loved you also in the film. However, they had to point out something which I'm going to bring it up today, which is they were like, "Arey yaar, wo fight sequence nahi hua where both of them went bare-bodied and fought." Did you go back to Sidhartha and say this? कि हम लोग इतना workout किया, please strip us off and make us fight?
No, that was, I mean, we never spoke about it specifically. But the thing is, if you see the fighting sequence, it's me fighting in my costume and HR is in the Air Force costume, right? So there was no point where he could have removed his costume or I could have removed my costume, and it wouldn't make sense for only me to remove the t-shirt. So it didn't happen in this film, but I'm pretty sure in the future projects I might get to, you know, remove my t-shirt.
And then give those punches out there. Happens, no? That's what we're watching on celluloid. Like these masala films, we want those things as well.
Yeah, but like if you've seen Sidhartha's style, he's a little international with this. He had the thing in his mind, and I'm glad that, you know, the t-shirt didn't come off. It would have distracted the audience from the action sequence, and the action wouldn't have been that impactful otherwise, I think.
Yeah. Tell me something, when you are working with the Sidhartha Anand, right? Like a man who also so focused and so clear in terms of what he wants. Like he's a visionary, he knows what he's doing. And when you're sitting with him and having these conversations about your part, about your role, are there nuances that he shares with you that you sort of incorporate when you're giving that take?
Definitely.
And what were those things that he shared with you?
He basically, when I was doing my rehearsals, like my workshops for the character, Sidhartha would come in and tell me things which he has learned from his experiences. The voice. It was his idea to go for a very deep voice. I was initially experimenting, looking at different voices, but then he made sure and he made it very clear that this is the voice that we need, so practice that. And eventually the voice made a big difference. The red eye was his idea. Eventually the hairstyle and all was his call. Even the costumes and all were, everything was discussed with him, and he only brought it up. So it added like a lot to the character. And plus the workshops that I did, those really helped me internalize the character. Yeah.
Are you a genre that you're itching to play right now going forward?
Comedy.
Oh wow, listen, you're surprising me, huh? ना डराने के बाद जो लगा फंसाएंगे हम.
I really think that if I get something in comedy, I would do a hell of a justice to it.
Okay.
Because I'm a very funny guy, to be honest. I'm cracking jokes all the time. I'm making people around me laugh. And my comic timing is also really nice because in whatever workshops, I keep doing acting workshops to refresh myself. And in every workshop that I do, whenever I do a comedy scene, I can see the rest of the people in the workshop laughing their asses out. So that's one genre I really, really want to explore. Other than that, I would say even horror is something that I want to do. That is something I would really love to explore but then horror is not something that, where good films are made a lot, very often.
Yeah.
There's a very thin line between horror and what becomes crass.
That's true.
So something good in horror or comedy, or best horror comedy. Something like Stree or,
Oh yeah, Stree was fab.
Fab. Like Stree, Go Go Gone, these sort of films I would love to do.
Have you ever been, I don't know, I'm just asking you, probably too fresh to even ask, but share your thoughts on this. Have you ever had these conversations in your head, or probably with people around from your casting team, etc., where they must have come and told you that, listen, negative role might be a possibility that you get typecasted, and then you have to work slightly more harder to break that?
Okay, so this typecasted thing, so I'll tell you, when I was auditioning, I've been auditioning since 2018. And mostly the auditions that I used to get were either for terrorists or for drug dealers or for rappers or something in the negative shade. And I've spoken to a lot of casting people, and like the first criteria for someone to get cast is their look. And then they test them, and the acting and all is after that. If your look fits the character, then only you get to test for it, right? And most of the people have told me, bro, your face is very negative. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm happy. I have no qualms in playing a negative character because I feel it comes more naturally. I'm really inspired by a lot of negative Bollywood characters. I've grown watching Bollywood, like, Shakal, Gabbar, Mogambo. If you look at these negative characters, they're such larger than life characters. Like, that Shakal had like a button where if you would mess with him, he'll throw you to the sharks. That is mind-boggling.
Yeah, and that to like imagine how many
years back.
Years
that is like James Bond level stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that has always fascinated me. Even like villains, I find are really something that can make the film or break the film because and also there's less competition and people wanting to play a villain.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
and then if I feel if you do carve a niche, pretty much what you've done in the film, because there was so much screen space, and I feel that's something that's very important and imperative, especially when you're starting off, so as people can have that recall value and notice you. So that's great. So kudos to you for achieving that, and for you also mentioned to me off camera that there were certain parts and roles that not a role, but a certain scene that was incorporated and added during the shoot, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So you guys have seen the scene where I'm beating Sukhi up.
Yeah.
So that scene was not there in the script initially, and we were on set. Sidhartha sir called me. He's like, we've written down a new scene. Just give it a read and try. Let's see how you do it. And I read the scene. It was a very powerful scene. And then we shot the scene, and sir was pretty happy with what I had done, except for like a couple of things where he gave the that zaban. फिर मैंने उसकी ज़बान काटी, the whole action, that was his idea. And that scene has come out so well. Like, I mean, people have specifically praised that scene and, sent me videos or screenshots of that scene saying that, bro, this one, you are looking like pure evil. In that scene, there's a part where I'm smiling and I'm telling him, pata hai uske saath kya kiya? So someone told me, bro, you're looking like Heath Ledger in this. And I was like, oh my
That's a compliment.
God. Thank you so much.
Did you happen to go and watch yourself in the theatre like silently? Did you watch any of the shows?
I've seen the film 5 times.
What? Crazy. Look, tell me you went to Gatey Galaxy. Everybody does that.
I haven't been able to go
So
to
now
Gatey
that's what you're
Galaxy.
going to do after your interviews are done, probably.
Definitely,
If you get
yeah.
some time to get the reaction.
No, I really wanted to go there, but then I was busy with stuff. Like I do other things also, so I had to travel to Delhi, and like I was traveling basically since the release, so I haven't been able to go to Gatey, but definitely that's on my list.
Yeah, you should do that soon. Tell me something, being a part of the casting group and team, does it sort of help you add a little bit of more finesse to your acting and your skills?
A lot, a lot. So when I started working as a casting assistant, it was like my boss had told me, just come for a month and a half. This was before Empire, and there was a month and a half left for Empire to start, and he told me to come before Empire and just give cues to the actors, because it will help my acting as well in the process, right? And all I did for 2.5 years was sit inside the casting room, in the audition room, and just do auditions with different actors, like all different scenes, be it a boy, a girl, a man, a child, any lines, I would take the lines. And that really helped me. Like you said, it helps you be in the flow, right? You're talking about acting, rather you're acting all the time. In fact, after I quit casting and I was shooting for this film, I was feeling this void that, I'm not around acting all the time. Then I joined a scene work, like every Saturday, where you go and perform scenes and then you get a feedback from a teacher. So that really helps you as an actor. It really helps you get smooth with the lines, and it makes it less mechanical and more natural.
Are you somebody who plans? No,
Not
you're
really.
like, I'm going with the flow.
Yeah, no. I'm traveling tomorrow. I booked my tickets last night. I had to pay like a bomb, which I wouldn't have had to. But yeah, this is the drawback of not planning.
But then have you sort of had these thoughts in your head that what gets you here won't get you there? So now what next for you?
What has gotten me here won't get me there, but what has gotten me here is the things that I have done. So I'm pretty sure if I continue doing, like you learn, right? To get here also, the day I came to Bombay, I didn't know the things that I know now.
Yeah.
And what I know now is going to catapult me towards what I work for in the future. So it's a learning thing. You have to learn every day. You have to learn from different people. Like in this project, I got to work with Hrithik Roshan, Anil Kapoor sir, Sidhartha sir. There was so much to learn from them. Like Anil sir was so sweet. At the premiere, he literally sat me down for 10-15 minutes and gave me word of advices and explained stuff to me. And I was really, like, he's so humble. It was really overwhelming to just speak with him like that.
Yeah.
So you learn from your colleagues, you learn from different people, and as you grow, you learn more, and that helps you grow more.
Yeah. Do you feel networking is also a very important part of the field that you are in?
Very. Networking is an important part of any field, I feel, and as much as I would like to say कि नहीं है, it is. You have to go out, you have to go meet people. Otherwise, people will not know who you are. You're right, because people have seen me playing Azhar, but that is not me. That is a character I'm playing. The real Rishabh is when I go out and I talk to people, and then they can decide, right? So it's very important, I feel.
And are you still going to be very comfortable in terms of A, auditioning for parts, and B, even asking to audition for a part?
Yeah. I mean, it's just my first film, yaar. I mean, I'm really glad people are loving it. But I will not say that I won't audition, I want to directly get locked. No, you please audition me, be comfortable with the fact that I can perform, and then only take me in your project. Because at the end of the day, I don't want someone to say, yaar, he can't perform. You should be satisfied.
Yeah. And in the West, it's very normal to audition for parts and even to ask for work specifically. I mean, first of all, I'm somebody who advocates that, listen, if you feel that you can do something, please go ask for it. It's the same with interviews, right? We go and ask, ye karna hai hame.
I've started already messaging people, like, I'm looking for my next project. I've started talking to people about new projects also. So hopefully things will click very soon.
Fingers crossed.
But I have no shame in asking for work, man, and I'm not... I'm not some huge star right now, or I'm not even that high-headed that I won't audition. I like auditioning. I've been auditioning for so long now. If I don't audition and I go mess up on set, then I'm only to be blamed, right?
Yeah. Okay, lastly, before I let you go, I'm going to quickly ask you this. Let's say your next big project turns out to be an OTT project, and OTT is doing great right now. I'm sure there's so many content pegs that we also consume, right? A, would you take that up? And B, for OTT, what genre would you like to play, other than comedy?
I would definitely take that up, man. Like, OTT has given us brilliant scripts, brilliant shows. I would love to do something in the zone of Game of Thrones. that is like even Empire that I did was sort of in that zone, but not completely. But yeah, I mean that genre, the historic, prehistoric stuff, I love that.
You're not touching romance for sure. It looks like. एक जगह कॉमेडी करना है, thriller करना है, और क्या acting तो आपने ये action तो कर लिया, but no romance, not happening.
I mean, I would not. I don't mind doing romance.
You're
also.
chill, basically.
I'm
whatever
chill,
comes
but
your
like,
way.
if you ask me specifically what I want to do, it would be comedy and prehistoric stuff because that is where I'm more interested in. That gives me more interest. Like as an audience, I would like to see that.
And are there any particular directors that you want to work next with going forward?
A lot of them. Yeah. I really want to work with Anurag sir. I want to work with Karan sir, Imtiaz Ali.
Oh yeah.
There are so many directors. There are so many talented people in the industry, and I feel if I get to work with like even half of them, my life will be complete.
Yeah, I think you quitting your job, leaving Delhi, coming to Bombay, everything will just sort of be the perfect decision that you made.
Yeah,
Rishabh, all the very best. Thank you so much for chatting with us and removing time, and wish you good luck for anything and everything that you do next
Thank
going
you so
forward.
much. Thank you.